Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
What is up? Welcome back to Tomahawk'd. It's a big week, both on the field and off. Some wild news last night in the middle of, or coming at the end of two great days for the Braves. We were in the middle of a crucial four-game series against the Mets. But before we get into that and how it's started so far, which is swimmingly, the biggest news of the week, potentially, is that Michael Harris II is now an Atlanta Brave for the next 8 years, at least potentially 10 years. He signed an 8-year, $72 million contract, I believe, with club options for 2 years after that at $15 and $20 million.
Right, yep. Yeah, it's a good contract for both sides, to be honest, because Harris will be, he's going to make almost the same amount of money over the first 8 years of this contract.
Because arbitration will be like, he's this valuable.
He's not eligible for arbitration until 2026.
Okay.
Because he's not going to have a full year of service time this year, which means...
And we did not manipulate that, by the way.
No, it just happened that way.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Chris Bryant situation.
Yeah. No, so he'll play 23, 24, and 25 on arbitration, which means... Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how this breaks down here in a second. But wouldn't be eligible for arbitration until 26, and even if he is a perennial all-star by then, like Juan Soto, for example. Juan Soto, in his first year of arbitration, I believe, got $8 million.
Right.
So it's not like you jump all the way up. He got 8, and then he got 18 the second year. And Trey Turner was on the same trajectory. He got like 7, and then I think 16, and then he got 21 in his last year of arbitration.
Right.
So it's not like these dudes are getting career record-breaking contracts through arbitration like that. That's not how that works. You know what I mean? Even like what did Judge get? 19 million?
I mean, that's a pretty good rate, though.
For sure, yeah, it's not bad. But here's how it breaks down. Let's say on the current deal that Harris was on before this contract, he would have made, I think he's making $700K this year or something like that.
Okay. Roughly, that's probably about the legal minimum at this point, or maybe a little
Yeah,
bit.
give or take, yeah. I think it's $650 or something like that. But next year, just based on, I patterned this after Juan Soto's rise because he's a comparable wins above replacement guy to Juan Soto.
Okay.
I mean, he's on.
They don't earn it the same way, but they end up with about the same
Correct.
replacement.
Yeah, and he's so right now Harris is on a run rate through a full season for about 5.8 to 6.1 wins above replacement. Now this guy's a rookie. Let's be real clear about that. He plays a premium position as well.
I believe he's the youngest player in baseball.
He is current. Well, unless Grissom is younger.
No, Grissom's older.
Okay, so he would have made
third youngest.
So next year, he would have made about $800K. 2024, he would have made about $900K, right? 2025, he would have made $1 million. And then 2026 as well. So he's eligible for arbitration but not by 2026. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So he would have to play the entire 2026 campaign and then go back to arbitration after the season. So, again, $800K, $900K, $1 million, right around $1 million again. And then let's call it a little bit better than Soto because it's 2027. Let's call it $9 million in his first year of arbitration, 18 in his second, and 21 in his third. That's 2029. That's 7 years. And then in 2023, let's say he signs a big contract with an average annual value of $25 million a year.
Okay. And
right?
How old is he?
He would be 29 at that point.
Okay.
So it would be somewhere between 25 and 30 mil a year, I would guess, if he's still performing at the level he is. But that's a big ass butt, right?
For his skill set.
Yeah, certainly. So 2023, 25 million. So that's 8 years, 77 million. On the contract that he just signed, 2023, 5, 24, 5, 2025, 8, and 26, 8, 27, 9, 28, 10, again, 10 and 29, 2029, 2030, 12 million. That's 8 years, 72. So he's making $5 less million over the course of 8 years, but it starts right now.
Right.
Which is, if you understand the time value of money, money in your hand right now that you can invest the way you want and buy equity in things is more valuable than if inflation is 5%, right? $95,000 now is more valuable than $100,000 next year.
Yeah,
that's how that works.
Right.
So not only is he getting it guaranteed now, because these are baseball contracts, he gets this money no matter if he dies tomorrow. His family gets this money.
Right.
You know what I mean? $72 million guaranteed. Plus at least $5 more million to buy him out of the rest of his contract.
Yeah. Or, he's like gardening in South Carolina next to a pond and
whatever it is,
gator pops out.
So I'm tired of hearing, there's some assholes on Twitter like, this is why nobody respects the Braves because they fucking use up players and blah, blah, blah and sign them to these shitty contracts. This is not a shitty contract. This is a very good contract for this young man. The same way that it was a good contract for Acuna, the same way that it was a good contract for Riley, the same way it's a good contract for Albies. These are all good contracts. And then some other people were trying to compare it to Olsen. I'm like, Olsen, one, is 28 years old.
Yeah.
And he was going to be an unrestricted free agent next year. This is his first big contract. So, yeah, they signed him to an 8-year big dollar contract. But it was still good market value for us.
Oh, yeah.
We're still getting 5-6 wins above replacement and 30-plus home runs for, an average annual contract of $21 million or some shit?
Yeah, it's
get out of here,
extremely affordable for what? I think one win above replacement is worth $14 million or something.
Yeah.
It's something absurd like that. So, Harris, did you see this coming at all? Because I really didn't see it happening this year. Acuna, how long did it take for Acuna? He was
a rookie. Well, not technically, actually. He was still in his first year of service time. We did actually
manipulate his service time, where he came up right after the whatever the fuck.
Yep. But so he didn't, in the middle of the next season, they signed him to that contract.
Yeah,
before he had a full year of service time.
So he had from May to the end of the first year in 2018, in which he was electric. And then the next year was the year we signed him halfway through the year. He almost went 40-40.
Correct.
Yeah. So we had gotten probably 160 games out of him. And we're like, okay. And Harris has played about 70.
77.
That's pretty wild. I expect the Braves to I should say, I expect Alex Anthopoulos to basically always do this at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect it so quickly.
Well, I wouldn't expect to see the same thing with Grissom, to be honest.
Well, he's only been up 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. But even if look, if we're past the All-Star break next year and he's still performing like he's performing now, yeah, you should expect it. But, this is like setting up a business and having passive income. You know what I mean? You have stuff that keeps the lights on, and then you are able to have quite a bit more flexibility to get everything else. After this season, the Braves are going to assign Max Fried, to a longer-term deal probably.
Okay.
I would say probably a 7 to 8 year deal, something like that. And then they're probably going to go out and try to get one more high-caliber starting pitcher. I don't think they're going to go for bullpen too much because Jansen still got another year, I think. Or did he only sign it 1 year?
I think he's 1 year. But Raciel Iglesias is 3.
He's got 2 more years on his contract, right? Or no, 3 more years.
3 more years, yeah.
So I think even if Jansen doesn't perform down the stretch, they just let him go and hang on to Iglesias. And they're probably going to go after a premium position player and a starting pitcher and spend some money. That's my expectation here because they don't have anybody else to resign.
No, the only real holes on the team right now would be left field, which you could potentially throw Vaughn Grissom in there. I
doubt it. What I expect that what I expect they're going to do is if he continues to perform like this, they'll let Dansby go. They'll put him at short. They'll probably trade Ozuna somewhere. For nothing.
Just to get him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'll spend money on somebody like I don't know, honestly. I don't know if they're going to go out and get Mike Judge for $35 million a year.
Aaron
Judge. Yeah. I always say Mike Judge. I don't know if they're going to get Aaron Judge for $35 million a year, But I do expect him to go out and do something. I mean, there's a bunch of high-caliber pitchers that have player options, like Aaron Nola and Jacob deGrom, for example.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of talent
Someone
out there.
was floating DeGrom to the Braves in the coming off season earlier this year, which I thought was hilarious. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, Jacob deGrom obviously is like when he's on the mound is the best pitcher on baseball. It's just the first half of that sentence is.
And he's 30. He's going to be 36, right? So any contract you sign him to will be a 2 or 3 year deal, I would expect.
Yeah.
Unless somebody gets stupid and tries to sign him. Like, I could see the Dodgers giving him a 5-year deal.
Just saying fuck it. Yeah.
Because they don't care about the money.
So the full contract with Harris, though, just go back to that for a second. If it's exercised all the way through, I mean, that's averaging $10 million a year for the next 10 years. If you average it all out, that is absurdly affordable for a player of that cap. Even if he just ends up being, call it 110 WRC plus, but playing that defense that he's playing from now to 29, like you should.
I mean, if he's a 110 WRC plus and he plays the kind of defense that he plays, that's still like a 4 or 5 WAR guy.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's a great deal, but again, it's a great deal for him too.
It is.
Like he's betting on his ability to maintain this level into his prime, which is a smart move on his part, and to get money right now, which is a smart move on his part. And he's now aligned where after his first prime year, that's his contract year. That's a fucking good idea.
Yeah.
Like if I know I'm going to be at my strongest at between 28 and 32, then I'm definitely going to try to get my big contract signed in that period.
Well,
that makes a lot of sense.
I don't think he can opt out, though.
He can't, but I mean, what the Braves are not going to do is this fucking if he's hitting, like right now.
They'll do what they did with like, I forget who they even did it with, but they were like, they tore up a contract and made a new one for him.
Yeah.
Who'd they do that?
I don't remember.
I don't either, but they did it recently with somebody.
Yeah. I don't remember. But so right now he's on a 28 home run pace, I think, for a full season, something like that. Hold on, I'll look.
Well, while you looked that up, I found this stat fun. He's worth 2.7 wins above replacement on Fangraphs. Came up in late May? Currently has better Fangraph WAR than Matt Olson, Shohei Ohtani in the batter's box in the field, Andrew Benintendi, Marcus Semien, Carlos Correa, Anthony Rizzo, and Kyle Schwarber. Currently, and like we talk about all the time, he does make a lot of it up with defense, which, we're not necessarily defensive. He is elite defensively. There's no question about that. But defensive metrics are still wonky and kind of throw things off. And so his WRC plus is like 126, I think. That is better than Kyle Schwarber, Corey Seager, Cedric Mullins, who I think a lot of people probably think Michael Harris is like, Dansby and Ronald, and Matt Chapman, just to name a few.
Yeah.
So he's been fucking killing it this year.
He's an elite class of player performance-wise right now. He's played 71 games, not 77, by the way. So, yeah, he's on 162 game. And, by the way, he hasn't missed a game. So I think that's relevant. If it's a guy who has to take a day off once a week, then you can't say that. But this dude doesn't take days off. He has a run rate of 27 home runs and 30 steals to go along with 105 RBI. I'm sorry, 105 runs and 90 RBI.
And by the way, all those numbers that they're talking about, he's doing that out of the 9 hole.
Out of the 9 hole and not including the defense that he plays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a good deal for us. But the Braves are counting on him. They think he's got the right kind of work ethic and the right kind of coachability to not only maintain this, but to improve over time. So they're taking a gamble on him, right? They owe him all of this money. They owe him $72 million right now. Yep. There's nothing they can do to stop that unless he fucking, I don't know, murders somebody. I don't know how the fuck do you get out of contracts
Probably a clause
like this.
Of that. And by the way, I don't know. I haven't got to read much more into it other than the details I read last night. But it wouldn't surprise me, I guess, if there was also, there would have to be. I don't know what the full value of the contract is because I don't know what the bonuses are.
For whom?
Harris.
I don't think there are any bonuses.
There's no
here.
all-star MVP bonus, anything?
None that I saw.
Okay.
I looked. I didn't see anything. But
Like like usually there's like Gold Glove, All-Star, blah blah blah.
There could be. I looked in Sport Track and didn't say any of that, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. This contract's not been made public yet.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's signed yet, actually. But at any rate, the real question at this point is how do you project a guy like this? I mean, it's hard to tell. In a lot of ways, it's hard to tell. 5 years ago, even, I would have said we have to wait until next year to see how the league adjusts. But the league doesn't work like that anymore. There's iPads in the dugouts, right? People are they have the book on you pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And pitchers and catchers are keeping either the quarterback fucking plays or a note in their hat or something like that where they know exactly how to pitch everybody. Harris hits fastballs really, really well. Hits sliders, curveballs, and splitters pretty well. Has some trouble against change-ups and cutters. I think everybody has trouble with cutters.
Yeah.
And change-up is for a guy that hasn't seen major league level change-ups before. That's a tough pitch to get used to because it's the same arm angle and release point and the same trajectory, but it's 8 to 10 miles per hour slower. Right.
And that is so. But this does read. I mean, like a relatively mature hitter. So I actually did like a quick, dirty comparison of him against Austin Riley, who is, I would say, probably the best hitter on the team.
Definitely the most disciplined.
Yeah, and Riley crushes, or at least this year is crushing sliders, curveballs. I think maybe cutters or changeups too. One of those two. He's actually not doing that great against the fastball, but I don't know how many he's really seeing.
Yeah.
Harris is hitting against the fastball this year, basically how Riley hit against the fastball last year. But I think there's just the way the way it looked to me, that looks like a mature hitter because the way, like you said, changers and cutters, or changeups and cutters are really difficult pitches to hit.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Kenley Jansen is not a good pitcher. He's not. He just throws cutters and they're hard to hit.
I have been really unimpressed with Kenley Jansen.
Like, I don't understand how. Well, the only reason that he doesn't get rocked every single time out or walk everybody is because the cutter is so deceptive. I mean, Mariano Rivera only threw it.
Yeah.
He would throw a curveball like once every 80 pitches or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rivera, though, I guess just much better location.
He had better command, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have command and a cutter, that's what makes Scherzer so great. DeGrom is overpowering, like like Strider, right?
Yeah.
And if you give a guy like that command of his two core pitches, I don't give a fuck who you are. It's hard to hit that shit. But Scherzer, who can get up in the mid to high 90s, he throws 4 pitches well. He throws a cutter and a 2-seam fastball. They go in opposite directions. He throws. He has a good breaking pitch that breaks away from right-handed pitchers, and he has a good another off-speed pitch that breaks away from left-handed hitters, and they all come out of the exact same arm angle. That's why he's so successful. Now, I don't understand. Kenley Jansen throws the same pitch every goddamn time.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of, maybe it's because you don't know where it's going that it's hard to anticipate.
He'll throw a really straight fastball in there, probably once, twice in a bat, just to keep them on their toes, usually high, like top of the zone or something.
I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not. I can't tell if anything he does is on purpose.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's lucky every time.
Yeah.
But maybe he's actually good at it. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time.
At some point the numbers are what the numbers are. You know what I mean? Like it's like your peripherals say you should have been this, and even what I'm seeing seems like you should have been this. But I mean, I don't know. You kept coming out of the end of every year with 30 saves and an ERA under 3. So what the fuck do I know? But I love I was really encouraged because I really hadn't checked how. If Harris was really just crushing fastballs, but the fact that he holds his own against sliders and curveballs, because that is a type of thing with a rookie, especially a guy who hasn't even played in fucking AAA, came straight to the majors, that you can just be like, throw this bitch sliders until he fucking does something with it. You know what I mean? And he's done fine against those, and maybe even more encouraging is that he hits lefties as a lefty.
Yeah, he does, and I mean it's. I think he's 21, right? So
Yeah.
the maturity at the plate for his age is surprising. You expect that to get better as he goes through his career, especially, if once Chipper gets in his ear and starts teaching him the same, like the difference between Austin Riley 2 years ago and then last year and this year isn't he didn't get bigger or stronger or faster. His eyesight didn't get better. His approach got better, right? Maybe because of his approach, he's seeing the ball better, but it's his approach that got better. Now, you got to let a guy – well, one, they corrected something in Harris's swing 10 days after they fucking saw him.
Yeah.
And he made the adjustment in a week and came back and he's hit 300 since. So that's pretty wild. But, you got to imagine what that kid's going to do with the kind of instruction that Austin Riley got. You know what I mean? So the question posed here is what do you project for him? I project him to be a 285 to 300 hitter with 25 to 30 home runs and the same amount of steals every year, no matter where in the order he's batting, and probably quite a few more steals if he's at the bottom of the order, because once you get to the top, you don't want to run your way out of innings and stuff like that. But and I expect him to play Gold Glove defense. As a matter of fact, I expect him to win the Gold Glove next year. I don't know if he'll have enough time in this year, but I expect him to win Gold Glove next year. Who the fuck has been better than him in the outfield? Just that, like in the ninth inning last night. I'm sorry, in the eighth inning. That fucking
Vogelbach.
That line drive.
Was that today or yesterday? Was that yesterday or the day before?
No, this isn't the great play that he made. This is just
okay.
He made this play look so easy, but he's playing center field. He's shaded a little bit to the right on a right-handed batter. The right-handed batter punches one into the left center gap, right? And it's a little loopy, right? But it's a normal fly ball, but he's out of position to make that play, and he made it look really. When he first hit it, I'm like, oh fuck,
yeah,
that's gonna. Not that it mattered because we were up big, but I was like, damn, he's probably not gonna get there, and he got there easily. Right?
Yeah.
And then when you see him throw, so this past
his arm, my God.
In the past 2 weeks, Michael Harris and Ronald Acuna have thrown 100-mile-per-hour fastballs from the outfield. And now I'm thinking about, like, what if we are able to go out and spend some money on a guy like Aaron Judge? You know what I mean?
He's got a big arm himself.
It's like that's the best outfield ever, in my opinion.
You would be hard pressed to top it. I mean, I guess there were a couple years where DiMaggio played with Mantle.
But I mean, like Acuna, Judge, and Harris. If you combine all three, defense and offense, I don't know that even DiMaggio and Mantle could handle that, because I think Yogi Berra played left field when they were there. Not that Yogi wasn't great, but by that time in his career, he was
right.
Whatever.
Man, so Michael Harris, I'm looking at this right now. I'm trying to see where he is. Michael Harris II is 29th in Major League Baseball for outs above average.
And he's played 71. He's played half the season.
Yeah. Dansby's actually second with 14.
Yeah, I mean, look, we could still sign Dansby. We definitely could. But I think if they do that, I assume they're going to try to hang on to both Darno and Contreras as long as possible.
Well, Darno is signed. He has a club option in 2024, and he's signed next year as well. So,
and I think they're going to try to hang on to both of those guys. But I think combined they have like 36 home runs or 34 home runs.
Right. And well, right now we don't have a fucking DH. So
yeah. But I don't expect Grissom to be on the bench or in the minor leagues next year either. So. Right. Either they let Dansby. I mean, it would be a smart business move to let Dansby go to put Grissom there, even if they lose a little bit, and spend that money on a corner outfielder. Yeah, to be honest, and a starting pitcher.
I would, be sad, but that's the fucking business. I don't even know what to say about Michael Harris other than this guy is just, even literally, like I said before, even if he ends up being some sort of like Michael Bourne type player, right? even though that seems impossible just because he's so goddamn strong. And Michael Bourne was, fast as fuck, but had just like baby arms.
I'm pretty sure that Harris has already beat Michael Bourne's season high for home runs, right? Wasn't his season high 11?
Oh yeah, it was really low. Bourne was all speed and.
What about Jason Bourne? How did he do?
He.
Oh no, Michael Bourne hit 36 home runs in his career.
Yeah, he didn't hit a lot. I think 9. What'd you say?
Who was the guy on the Phillies that hit 0 home runs? He had 0 career home runs.
Like kind of recently?
Yeah, center field.
Oh, fuck, man.
Great fielder, but super fast, but just could not hit it out of the park as a professional.
I don't know, because it's not, what's his name? I loved Shane Victorino. I hated Shane Victorino, but I loved Shane Victorino.
No, it was a Michael Bourne type.
Yeah. Like just a skinny black dude who could just fucking fly. I can't remember who you're talking about off the top of my head. It's like a Gerard Dyson type though, who just like, I don't know if his bat has ever touched the ball, but super duper fast. But even if he projects into even if he turns into some sort of Michael Bourne where the speed stays and the elite defense stays, and he finds ways to be productive offensively, but it's never like $10 million a year for that. In this decade, that'd be a good deal last decade.
Yeah.
In fact, Michael Bourne made $9 million with the Braves 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Harris seems to be a whole lot better. It's fucking. We didn't sign Shohei Ohtani, but I might have to blow Alex Anthopoulos to death anyway.
Ben Revere.
Okay. That sounds like the right guy.
Yeah, that's it.
All speed.
I literally think he has 0 career home runs.
I love that for him.
Good for him.
Yeah. So with that signing, you kind of touched on this a little bit already. What is your order of importance for Alex Anthopoulos to sign next, player-wise?
There's
Give me 4.
Okay, I was going to say 3, but I can do 4. Max Fried's the first, because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent, I believe, or maybe he's a restricted free agent after this year. I don't remember.
I'll look it up. Either way, though, he's 28.
Yeah, they need to sign him to like a 6 or 7 year deal.
Dude, the way he pitches
maybe 8
and stuff like that, he's never really had injury issues.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the IL right now, but that's a concussion. That's not.
Not arm related.
Yeah, he seems like the type of guy who could age really well.
Yeah, because he throws mid to high 90s when he needs to now, but he
does not rely on velocity.
He doesn't rely on that. I mean, he could certainly transition into a Tom Glavine style pitcher. I don't see a problem with that. As a matter of fact, he uses the same strategy right now. He just uses his high inside fastballs and out pitch a lot.
Yeah.
Which, that's going to make him better now than he will be later, but everybody's better when they're younger, except for Max Scherzer, who's always been good. And maybe, Max is a smart guy that has worked on pitches. Like, he's improved his changeup quite a bit over the last couple of years. He's not dumb. He's going to try to fucking stay ahead of it. But, yeah, definitely Max Fried first. And the other ones are in no particular order. We'll see what happens with Grissom next year. I'm not worried about that one right now. He's so young. But Kyle Wright is definitely on that list. I think they need to lock him down. He's, 25?
He's pretty young.
Or 26 maybe? I think he might be 26. Yeah.
Kyle Wright is 26.
Yeah, 26. So I probably sign him to like a 4 or 5 year deal, something like that.
He was born right as the 1995 playoffs were beginning.
Good. Well, maybe that's a sign. I definitely sign him to a nice deal. And if Soroka comes back and pitches the way he did in his fucking
2019.
In 2019 and in his first rehab, the first time he's pitched against people in 2 goddamn years.
Yeah.
3 years almost. It's like he didn't miss a beat, but it was a leg injury. Frenchie was talking about it last night, but he was watching his landing foot to see if there was any kind of weirdness or discomfort, and there is none. So my concern about Mike Soroka is gone. Like, that dude knows how to fucking pitch. So I lock him down too.
Yeah.
So Fried, Wright, Soroka for sure. And then maybe start looking at Spencer Strider.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's only been a year, but I'm not sure. People aren't going to figure out a chest-high 100-mile-per-hour fastball. That's not how that works. There's no need to rush, though, on a pitcher like that. So
no.
I think maybe my attention goes back to how they're going to solve this issue with Grissom and Swanson.
Well, there is one other guy. Well, I guess you could talk about Swanson. There's one other guy who's probably more, who has earned probably as much of a look at an extension as Wright or certainly Strider.
Who's William Contreras?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let me see if I can find his contract. Spot track. Get out of here. All right. William. God damn it. Get the fuck out of here. Here we go. Yeah, he's an unrestricted free. Oh, no, that's Wilson. I don't care about him.
William Contreras, by the way, only 24. He's 2 years younger than Kyle Wright. And this year he's got a cool 134 WRC plus with a fucking 520 slugging percentage.
Contreras is also on a two-way contract. Oh, he's only got .37. Let's see. How much service time? He's got a waiver. They're not going to do that. He's still pre-arb. Okay, so yeah, I probably wouldn't fuck with Contreras right now, to be honest.
Give him a little more time.
Probably 1 more year, yeah.
Yeah.
He's team control for the next 2 years at a base salary of probably between $750 and $950 for those 2 years, depending on how he performs.
Yeah.
And his last year of arbitration is not until 2027. So I think you probably either next year or in the 24 season before arbitration sign him to a deal, provided he's continuing to perform.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be good with that. Because he's actually everybody talks about his hitting, but the place he's improved the most is the fucking receiving.
Yes.
He's always been a pretty good thrower. Footwork isn't the best. His hit time is a little slow because of his footwork, I think, which is something he can definitely work on. But his receiving has improved dramatically over the last year. And that's probably just from watching d'Arnaud, honestly. It's probably just from, like, when you're in the dugout and you're watching d'Arnaud or you guys are in the fucking bullpen working out or whatever it is, you just watch what he's doing. Look, he's got a good fucking family tree here.
Yeah.
Wilson is an excellent athlete.
They're kind of the inverted Molinas.
Yeah.
Like, they're dudes who can just fucking hit, and then, they turn into pretty good all-around catchers. That's something I
mean, Yachty could hit, just not for power that
Right.
much. But yeah, these guys both crush the ball.
And it's honestly, that's something that the Anthopoulos administration, see, he just got promoted too.
From what to what? I thought he was the team president.
No, he just got promoted to that, I think, or something like that.
So now he's the GM and the president?
Yeah.
Are they just going to let him own the team at some point?
Give Alex Anthopoulos $1 billion and just let him own the Braves. Fuck it. But Contreras, I thought they did. Maybe they didn't. Anyway, Contreras, or the Anthopoulos administration, they have massively valued framers.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's why Tyler Flowers was here.
Yeah, and even that's why they brought Brian McCann back, always an excellent framer, and then that transition to d'Arnaud, and then, Contreras was in the system, and that's something that they value, teaching Contreras for sure, because I think that's the amount of fucking mojo and whatever that you steal, game edge you steal from stealing strikes is, until they put robot umpires in there, that is a huge, it's like, why wouldn't you spit on the ball?
And I love,
you know what I mean, if it's legal?
Yeah, for sure. And then, what you said, d'Arnaud's under team control for 2 more years?
There's a club option for 2024.
So
This
2
year,
more
next
years
year.
if we want.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I probably don't lock in Contreras for a long term until next year or the year after, yeah. But, I mean, I wouldn't change a single thing about how they're using these two right now.
No.
I think one of them should be catching and the other one should be a DH. Yep. Because, you're not going to go out on the free market and you're not going to get a dude at anywhere near the price you're paying for these two combined that are both going to give you 750 to 850 OPS. That ain't happening. Plus two pretty good receiving catchers as well. Like, you're really, really fortunate to have that, because we're seeing it with the Mets. Like, the Mets offense is anemic at any rate, but particularly at catcher, they're dead last.
It's a black hole.
Dead last at catcher, and you can see it, man. I can't believe they didn't get Wilson Contreras at the break. That was a huge fucking mistake. That honestly, if they had got Wilson Contreras at the deadline, I would be a little nervous about the Mets. Right now, I'm in no way nervous about the Mets.
It's yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that was a huge kind of, and maybe the Cubs didn't want to give him up. I don't know why the Cubs wouldn't, unless the Mets just weren't offering enough. But yeah, not having Contreras, just leaving that catcher situation, and it's not like their catchers are amazing behind the plate either. So I don't know necessarily what they wanted, what they were looking for.
I mean, McCann has shown flashes of being able to hit a couple times, but it's super inconsistent. And to be honest, he's not the best catcher. Now, that kid they had playing last night, I don't know what his name is, but that guy's got his arm is pretty good, but his footwork is so good.
Yeah, when they threw out Acuna in the
Nito, but now he's out. Like he's hurt or whatever the fuck, right?
When that was a brilliant throw to throw out Acuna in the first.
No, that wasn't Nito. Who was that? Michael Perez, I guess. I don't even know who this guy is. Oh, they got him from the Pirates. Yeah, that was him.
Okay.
Yeah, that dude.
He gunned
as far as defense goes, exceptional. But he's hitting 145.
Yeah. So
512 OPS. So it's a black hole for them. Speaking of the Met, you want to do ads first?
Yeah, I was going to jump into an ad real quick. If you love sports and you love making money, then MyBookie.com is the place for you. Not only does betting with MyBookie.com make every game more exciting, but when you sign up using the promo code Drinkin' Bros, your first deposit is instantly doubled up to $1,000 with thousands of bets to make on all your favorite sports. There's no shortage of ways for you to win at MyBookie. On top of having amazing lines and props, MyBookie is also home to several exclusive contests and promotions, as well as a casino, like a real casino. There are real human beings dealing those cards. It's not like video poker or anything like that. These are the stuff you're not going to find anywhere else. So get off the couch and get into the game with MyBookie.com and turn your love of sports into your new side hustle. Head to MyBookie.com today and use the promo code Drinkin' Bros to get your first deposit instantly doubled up to $1,000 and start winning today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. So let's get into the shit now. Mets series. We've played 2 games. We've won 2 games convincingly. Most importantly, we needed to win those 2 games because the next 2 games are, is it DeGrom tonight or Scherzer tonight?
Scherzer and then DeGrom.
So Scherzer tonight, DeGrom tomorrow.
Yeah.
Brutal. We had to get, I said on, I think, Monday Morning Recap, we have to split. And really, we need to win 3 of 4, I think. But yeah, so winning those first 2 games, I think both sides, more so the Braves, I guess, because the Mets were up, 5.5 games to start the series. So maybe they were more like, we only need to win 1 of the 2. But they needed to win 1 of the 2. The Braves needed to win 2 out of 2. The Mets needed to win 1 out of 2. Only one of those teams obviously accomplished what they needed to there. The Mets hitters this series, away from the sort of adrenaline of Citi Field, have looked fucking anemic.
Well, it's not just the adrenaline of Citi Field. It is the low velocity hits.
Yeah.
Like, Strider kind of walked back his comments a little bit after he lit them the fuck up on Monday. But he's right. And it's something that happened a lot early in the season. A lot of people are like, oh, what's going on with the Braves? They're only fucking, like, they've only, they're 4 games under 500 after fucking 17 games or whatever it was, or whatever the hell. I think it was actually 7 games under 500. It's like, yeah, their exit velo is 5th in Major League Baseball, and it's bad luck. It happens sometimes. And sometimes you get good luck. Now, not making mistakes to run yourself out of bad luck or making errors in the field and then having good pitching on top of it, that's a good, like, you're gonna succeed there. It's not like it's reductive and incorrect to say that the Mets were just lucky.
Right.
But they were lucky,
yes.
right? And everybody requires a little bit of that luck during the season, especially in the dog days of summer like this.
You literally have to get lucky to win. Like, you cannot win without things breaking your way. I can't even remember a fucking team that just kept getting fucked and somehow still pulled it out.
The difference here is that it seemed like, and it's, it's hard to tell. I'm a Braves fan. It's hard to tell if it's because of the quality of baseball they're playing right now. But it seems like the Mets pissed them off in the same way, like Ross brings it up when we talk about this on the Monday morning recap. The Braves are a lot like the Warriors. Like, there's such a talented team that sometimes it's like, all right. And Acuna is probably the worst at that. I think he might be, if we
talk about that with the Chiefs a lot too.
Yeah. If Albies and Riley are kind of the let's be serious and get this shit done, although Albies goes both ways on that. But he's like, for the Latin players, he's definitely the guy that's grinding on them all the time.
Yeah.
If they're the two that are doing that and they inspire the team to grind harder, I think that Acuna and his lackadaisical effort sometime as the best player on the team sends the wrong message. And he's going to have to address that at some point. But, it is what it is. Like, you need a Draymond around sometimes.
Yeah.
And even if it's Heredia on the bench being an asshole to everybody and fucking tomahawking people for no reason, you got to have that. And they've definitely executed this time. You could see how much more fun they're having playing like this. But more importantly, you could see how good the at-bats are.
Oh.
Ronald Acuna walked 4 times on close pitches last night.
Yeah. And also, most, if not all, of the counts were like full too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was taking like a fucking.
You can tell somebody, maybe he just figured it out on his own, going back and watching the tape because he likes to watch the iPad a lot too.
Yeah.
Or maybe Kranitz was like, hey, these guys are fucking. They're getting in these 1-1 counts and 1-1, 2-1, 1-2 counts. And they're not throwing you another strike for the rest of your bat because they know you're going to chase. You're trying to do something.
Right.
Be a little bit more patient. It's like the movie Moneyball where Brad Pitt's character Billy Bean is talking to I think Royce Clayton is in for every pitch you take in that at bat, for every additional pitch you see, your batting average goes up by 30%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that. That's why Riley's been so successful because you saw it last night, actually. Got him to chase a low and away slider. I think it was on a 2-1 pitch. And they came back with the high inside fastball just out of the zone. I mean, I'm like 4 or 5 inches just out of the zone. A really good-looking pitch, but one you cannot hit. And he fucking took it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this kid's a professional goddamn hitter now.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And Acuna, one thing I loved watching him last night, especially in the later innings, I think. This is when I really started to notice it. He might have been doing it all night. But he was, like, kind of hyped to take those walks. Like, he kind of had, like, a swag about him going to first base. Like, all right, man,
there
you're
was
not gonna
some
fucking throw me that trash. Like,
there was some purpose there, I think. And maybe that's how you do it for Roddy. Maybe Walt and, the
Seitzer.
guy. And Seitzer from the hitting side when they're like, hey, man, these guys are making you look like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe that's how you motivate a guy like that. I don't know. Like, hey, you don't want to look stupid up there, so take that pitch.
Yeah.
And then he does it.
Like, make them, they're your bitch. If they walk you, they're your bitch.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you look at these, the 13-1 thing got out of hand.
Oh, yeah.
But, even into the 5th inning, it was 5-1, and they were in complete control of that game.
Yes.
Like that, they were not going to lose. At no point were they in danger of losing that game. And it was the way that they fucking win games. Home runs, and then, walks or infield singles and extra base hits.
I mean, and really, before it even got broken open, what took the lead for them was how the Braves really win games. They basically, it was just a quick attack, and before you knew it, you were fucked with the Contreras and Rosario back-to-back home runs.
And but then Harris gets on base. I think it was an infield single, wasn't it? And then Acuna hits a double. And, I mean, these guys get right on top of you. And then in the 4th, when that part of the order comes up again, Grissom, the number 9 hitter, gets a hit. And then fucking Acuna drives him in. And then Swanson drives him in. I mean, it's like, typically you need to worry about your number 1 hitter through your number 5 hitter. And I think on any given day, the Braves' only real weak spot in their lineup is like 6 and 7. And that's typically if there's a lefty pitching, so it's either Grossman or Ozuna.
And,
you know what I mean?
Hopefully not Ozuna anymore.
Right.
I mean, they benched Ozuna last night. One thing, by the way, just you listing that lineup real quick, and I meant to say this earlier, actually. One thing people aren't talking about with this team is the speed's insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, from top to bottom, except for
Darnell
Olsen. Olsen is the slowest human being on earth.
Yeah, I forgot.
But except for like from 4 to 7, it's kind of slow. But everybody else in the lineup is a legit base stealing threat.
Yeah, like Olsen. Riley's fine, I think. Riley's not slow.
No, he's not slow, but he's not going to steal bases either.
No.
But he is a smart base runner, which helps.
And
like he's like Freddie. He's a faster version of Freddie Freeman, which is not saying a whole lot to be faster than him. But he's like the same kind of mold. He's a very heads up, smart base runner.
He can go first to third type of guy. But like the rest of the other guys, Grissom, Harris, Dansby.
Dansby has the third fastest time from home to first base this season.
Yeah,
third fastest. That's including like. Well, it's including Harris. It's including every leadoff hitter in baseball. That's super fast. Trey Turner, Although Trey Turner, he and Trey Turner have 2 and 3 respectively, and they're both right-handers. That's new. Usually it's like a couple of left-handers, and then
you literally, I mean, the lefty literally gets a head start.
You get like a full step, basically.
Yeah.
Plus your momentum is carrying you that way.
Yeah.
Right. So you're closer to the bag, and your momentum from the swing is carrying you that way. But I wonder. Just on an average day, this is the lineup. It's Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, William Contreras, Rosario, Darno, Grissom, Harris. That's your 9-hitter. And if it's, let's say we're down a run and it's the bottom of the 9th, and you say, well, I want this part of the order to be up then, I don't know that it fucking matters, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, does it? Does it matter? I mean, maybe matchup-wise, if somebody hits right-handers or left-handers better and the closer is one or the other, but if we're in the bottom of the 9th and Michael Harris is leading off the bottom of the 9th, he's our number 9 hitter, okay, cool, let's do this.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, well, he, I believe, did that against the Marlins the other day. Led off the top of the 9th because it was away. Promptly hit a first pitch home run to tie the game. That's what woke the offense up. Yeah. Since that 9th inning, the offense has been on fucking cocaine.
He's when he leads off an inning, he's hitting 300, and he hits since August 1st after the 7th inning, or no, since August 1st with runners in scoring position, he's hitting 530, which is nice.
Yeah.
But also the whole season, the whole time he's been up, his at bats from the 7th inning on, he's hitting like 380. In that period of time, and it's the only time he ever walks too, is during that period. So that's the next step for him to go back, what we were talking about earlier in the conversation. You take that discipline from when you're really locked in and you translate that to every single at bat. You're never taking a bat off. That's what Riley's done. That's why he's a fucking MVP candidate every single year now. Once Harris figures that out, I don't know that you can keep him in that 9 hole forever, to be honest.
No,
like I wouldn't be surprised to see him there next year maybe, but at some point.
Start the year.
Yeah.
Well, Dansby started the year in the 9 hole as well. It is the type of thing where it's like he probably, maybe Harris ends up in like the 2 hole, something like that.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean.
Or do you want speed on do you want speed on the back end of the middle of the order where he's like hitting 5th?
I don't even know if it matters, to be honest. Like at some point it's just like, especially if we go out and sign one of these high-profile outfielders, I don't think – like I did have some suspicion before the season started that we might go after Correa if we lose Swanson. But, one, I think that Swanson is a better ball player than Correa.
He's been quite a bit better this year.
Also better attitude about being a ball player, better clubhouse guy. Not that I don't like Correa. Like he's definitely, he may have a higher ceiling than Dansby Swanson does, but I just, it definitely, if we had the opportunity right now to just 1-for-1 swap them, I would not do it.
No,
not a chance.
Yeah, nope.
But because of Grissom and the fact that I think he's the next A-Rod type player, we're probably not going to go out on the market because Trey Turner is an unrestricted free agent as well. Probably aren't going to go sign him or Correa, who I assume is going to opt out of his deal. And I don't think we'll sign Dansby either, to be honest. The economics don't make sense to sign him, even though he does perform at an extremely high level, and it would suck to lose him.
The free agent market, him having two people ahead of him, though, in sort of the pecking order, should depress his value a little bit, right?
Yeah, it should. I mean, to be honest, they should be able to get him for average annual value of $16 million. That's my expectation.
That's pretty good.
And if they can get that, they should sign it. Yeah. But then what do you do with Grissom? Maybe put him in left? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and well, the other thing with Grissom, though, is I could very easily see Grissom not starting next year at the major league level.
Yeah, maybe. Although
how likely
he's hitting 420 right now. It's going to be
He's still I need to see more of him. Not more from him. You know what I mean? But he hasn't been here that long. Harris, it's like, I mean, Grissom, how many games did he even play at Double-A this year? Like
22.
Yeah,
I think.
I might.
But that tells you this is the same trajectory we saw from Andrew Jones, if you remember correctly.
Yeah.
He played like a total of 58 minor league games or some shit like that,
Yeah.
and he had drafted and then played some rookie ball, but then he came up to like low A ball and spent 1 year 70% of 1 year in the minor leagues, and then he was up in the major leagues for the rest of his career.
Like, I would like nothing more than to watch Vaughn Grissom hit 2 home runs in Yankee Stadium this October.
Yeah, for sure. But there's no kidding. I'm looking at some of the. No matter how all this shakes out, the Braves are still going to have money to go get a left fielder specifically.
Yes.
Now, they could. I think a smart move would be to do that and have an everyday left fielder.
Kind of ditch the platoon situation.
But here's the problem with that. So having a high-performing infielder outfield platoon gives you so much flexibility. So let's say they sign Aaron Judge, who presumably will make $30 to $35 million per year.
Yeah.
That's his market value.
Not a discount on him.
No. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know that the money is what he cares about, to be honest.
Yeah.
But his market value per spot track is $32.1 million. Let's say you sign him and he gets hurt, or you keep maybe you get rid of Ozuna, but you sign a guy, who's not a high-profile guy, but it's a legit right-handed hitter that crushes lefties, and you keep Rosario. Now you've got a lot more flexibility for sure. Like you're mitigating disaster. Your team overall is so good. Do you want to have a complete gap at one position if one person goes down, or do you want to have at least the position that you're planning for now? Do you want to have some flexibility in there? I could see either way.
Yeah.
But the Braves have been burned by platooning a lot over the last 30 years. Mm-hmm. And it's driven me fucking crazy that they wouldn't just commit to one guy at one spot.
You know what the worst situation with platooning was, where I was just like, of all the positions, in like 04-05 when Julio Franco and Robert Fick were splitting first base.
Yeah,
like first fucking base. We can't get a first baseman. Like, we can't get a bat there.
And Julio Franco was like 45 years old at the time.
He's so fucking old. Man.
But here, let's say, for the sake of argument, that Grissom continues to perform like he is. And by the way, this is like months before any of them got called up. I called Strider, Harris, and Grissom coming up and contributing this year.
You were all over Strider in
like
spring training. Yeah. And then
I like Harris for sure too. Grissom, honestly, Grissom is at least a year ahead of where I thought he was. Yeah. But he's a big ass kid too. He's 6'3". He's only 180, 185 right now. He'll probably get up to about 195, 200 at some point over the next couple of years. But then the other one is anyways, let me finish this thought first. Let's say we're able to let's say we lose Dansby, Grissom moves over to short, and he's our everyday shortstop now. We have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball at that point. Like, well, for any competitive team, rather, not for the bot. Like, we're in the middle third in payroll at that point. And now you've got money to make sure you keep max, which they're definitely not letting him go anywhere.
I don't see how you can let him walk.
But the interesting thing about this is that there's not a whole lot of outfield talent available in the offseason unless you make a trade. So Aaron Judge, obviously, he's an unrestricted free agent after this year.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Brantley's the same, but he's been on inflated contracts, I think. It's like $16 million a year for that guy seems a bit much. And he's going to be 36 next year.
Total lack of power, too.
Yeah, well, but, the Braves aren't really hurting for power. So Michael Brantley is like a better version of Rosario, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he puts together really solid bats. Wouldn't be like his market value is only $8 million, and he's making 16 right now. Now he's an unrestricted free agent. That's going to start over, but somebody's going to pay him 10 or 12 at least.
I think so.
And there's not a lot left, like Joey Gallo, fucking AJ Pollock, Benintendi maybe.
Yeah.
He puts together tough at bats.
I think Benintendi or Brantley. That's a great 2-hole hitter.
Yeah, I mean, Brantley is one of the best 2-hole hitters in baseball, in my opinion. He just, like, every fucking at-bat, it's a tough at-bat, especially in the playoffs.
He's been hurt, like, all year, though.
Yeah, it's been rough for him this year. And then I'm looking at the other thing I would like to see them take a look at is starting pitching. Now, Chris Sale has a player option, but he will probably exercise it because he's not going to get $27.5 million on the open market after 3 straight years of being fucked up.
Yeah.
DeGrom.
Isn't his most recent injury kind of weird and not his fault necessarily?
It was some weird oblique injury or something, wasn't it?
But he did it not with baseball.
Yeah. DeGrom, Verlander, and Rodon all have player options.
Verlander's not going anywhere.
Verlander's not leaving. I seriously doubt DeGrom is going to leave, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because his market value is $42 million, and he's making $30.5, but he's not going to get 40. I mean, he could opt out and sign with the Dodgers maybe. Yeah. But that would be the only way.
I wouldn't really want to pay DeGrom that. Maybe I would pay DeGrom that for a year. I wouldn't really want to pay like 3 years of $40 million a year.
Now, Carlos Rodon is the really interesting one here because he's on a player option of 22.5. His market value is about 30, right?
And the Giants are trending down.
Yeah, they're not doing well. And there's no reason to believe they're going to be better next year because he will probably opt out and look for a better deal. And I don't know that they're going to be able to give him that and get the other pieces they need to become good again. Yeah. So chances are Rodon's going to leave. He'll end up look, he's going to be in New York or Boston, I think. But, you got to look at a guy like that and see if you can't get him over there. Wainwright is a unrestricted free agent.
Bring him home.
That would be really interesting to bring him back for one more year if you can't. But we still have Morton, so I don't know that you really want to do that.
I think we have a club option for Morton.
That might be something to look into.
Yeah.
Speaking of club options, Aaron Nola has a club option as well for 1 year, $16 million.
I would imagine the Phillies would keep him. I don't know.
I assume they're going to keep him, but if there's any way we can leverage him away. One of the other ones is Chris Bassett, but he's going to be 34 next year.
He's kind of having a better year than he should be, I feel like.
He has a mutual option, so that's one to look at. The Braves have a $6.5 million. Odorizzi has a player option of $6.5 million.
Yeah.
He'll probably stay because they're probably going to win the fucking. They're probably going to have a lot of success this year. I can't imagine he's going to leave.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know what they do here, to be honest. Like, I don't know if could you coax DeGrom onto that team? Are you going to pay him 35? Because he's going to cost 35 mil. Would it be a better idea to get DeGrom or Rodon on your team for 30, 35 mil? And, continue platooning in left? Or would it make more sense to get that solid left fielder and trust your young arms, of which they have
infinite?
Yeah, quite a few. I mean, it's
well, and then under that situation too, I assume you bring back Morton.
Well, yeah, it would be Fried, Morton, Strider, Wright, Odorizzi, Soroka, and Anderson. There's
I don't think
7
you need to
starting
go after a
pitchers.
pitcher with that.
No, probably not.
And then you've got Elder and other dudes in the trip. I don't.
Well, Freddie Tarnok is another guy. I was going to mention him before. He's a guy that I've been talking about for the past couple of months, and they just brought him up to get a little experience. It'll be interesting to see how he performs. There's a gap in the Braves rotation. They're trying to use well, they used Elder the other day. I think they're going to use Anderson again. He pitched against Miami on Saturday. I think they might use him again in the first game against Houston if Max isn't back yet.
Yeah. Interesting thing about Redone, by the way. Believe Freed's teammate in high school.
Yeah, they're from the same area.
I think Freed, Flaherty, and Redone were all on the same team together in high school.
But the Braves don't have anybody listed for the Thursday game against DeGrom right now. I could see that being Freddie Tarnok.
Yeah.
Because, look, especially if they win tonight with Odorizzi versus Scherzer, I think you fucking – I think you don't bring back Max early from a concussion.
No.
Which he doesn't have a concussion. He's in the protocol. That's not the same thing, by the way. It's just like in New York, MLB, anytime there's a collision or a fall or anything like that, the league office watches the video, and if it looks like you hit your head on something, 7 days off.
Yeah.
That's just the rule now. Thanks, football. But it'll be interesting to see how they handle Thursday and Friday this week. I'm very curious what's going to happen there.
Yeah,
because the Thursday game is ESPN Plus. Like that's a nationally televised game, and I don't know. I know Snicker doesn't care about that, but you know, it would be interesting for them to throw Tarnok out there and just let him wing it, because he's a very, very good pitcher.
Yeah, and also, by the way, in terms of, we'll see how tonight goes. I mean, Odorizzi's very hit or miss, but we haven't used our bullpen very much.
And the Mets have exhausted their bullpen, although they know they can do that with Scherzer and DeGrom.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure Scherzer and DeGrom pitched a combined 15 innings in their 2 starts. So that's three more you got to make up. You know what I mean? That's and at least one of those is going to be Diaz, because they're going to be winning in the ninth inning. You know what I mean?
What a brutal
get to hear that
stretch for us here. We get fucking DeGrom, Scherzer, McCullers. And then
actually, Javier's been having a pretty good year.
Yeah, and then we missed Verlander, but Urquidy and Javier. That is good luck, boys. It's gonna be a fucking bitch.
But then we go to Pittsburgh, which is that's basically like taking 3 days off. Although, you know, hopefully they stay focused and win those games. They got to win those games.
Yeah, 100%.
But to be honest, after that St. Louis series right there. Colorado, Miami, and Oakland for 8 games. At Seattle, that's tough.
Yeah.
They're playing well, and they're in the hunt.
Playoff spot for the first time in like 20 years.
At San Francisco, September 12th through 14, maybe. I think San Francisco will be out of it by then.
Yeah, they're out of it now, I think.
I think when I say out of it, I mean stopped trying, unless they go a spoiler or something. But then you got 2 series. You got a home and away in Philly and a home and away in Washington. One of those is tough and the other is not. And then we finish out with New York at home and then at Miami, which we've been dominating them all year. Yeah. We're in pretty good shape right now. The next couple of days is going to be interesting to see how they work out the rotation.
Yeah. It is. And I think they're kind of right now, they don't want to. I like that they're not panicking and they're like, we got to shove Fried in there. We got to.
Well, why do they? They don't need to panic. They've got pitching for fucking days.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see them well managed, I guess.
Yeah. Well, for the first time ever.
Yeah. Speaking of pitching for days, last but not least here on the thing, Soroka obscenely dominant in his rehab start, which you talked about a little bit already. But
yeah, he threw 45 pitches, 35 strikes, 8 Ks in 4 innings. He actually had 8 Ks through 3 innings, and I think maybe he just got bored. He's like, I'm going to see if I can get some ground balls this time, to be honest. Like a guy that has the kind of command and presence that Soroka has. Like, he didn't have an arm injury that he's trying to figure out again.
Right.
As long as his lower body mechanics and his landing spot is on point, and that should have been done before he ever pitched against. And he did. Obviously, that did happen.
Right.
Minor league hitters aren't gonna fucking. It's one thing. Like you see a guy go on a pitcher go on a rehab stint, and it's like, oh, he gave up 4 runs. It's like, yeah, but he wasn't trying to do anything other than make sure his release point was correct.
Right.
He was like, all right, I'm going to throw, like, it wasn't about situational pitching. It was like, I have a list of pitches that I need to make. It's like in football. The only reason people ask this all the time, this is the reason they do it. The reason that historically the starting quarterback will play like 1 or 2 series is because there are 2 or 3 throws that they need to make in game speed, right? It's the slant, the out, and then the fucking post. They need to make those 3 throws and just visualize them, see with with an actual defense coming at them with different colored jerseys. Make that throw. Okay, cool. I know where this guy breaks on this fucking route. Okay, cool. Same thing with pitchers.
Yeah.
So when you see a guy do a rehab stint for an arm injury or something like that, where they're trying to rediscover the release point shit, don't worry about the results too much. But this is what happens when you go on a rehab stint when it's just like a non-pitching related injury.
Yeah.
You get a fucking major league, like not even a major league pitcher, a great top 5 major league pitcher, because his whip was 1.04, I think, and his ERA was like 2.68.
Soroka's 2019 year was...
Yeah, he was like one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Absolutely filthy. And he pitched brilliantly in his 1 game in the playoffs as well.
And you put that guy against high A-ball guys, like, come on, man, that's not fair.
Yeah.
But it is, it's good to see. I'm not trying to discredit or anything. It's just, this is exactly what you should expect from this guy.
So, I hope he, I'm just like juiced up for him to be in the rotation. Like he's going to have a couple more rehab starts, I assume, but fuck, dude.
Yeah, I think he needs to do 3 more. That was yesterday, right? So
yes. Yeah, he threw last night.
He'll pitch again Sunday. Then again on Friday, and then the Friday after that. So next Friday, and then maybe 1 more after that, maybe.
Okay.
And then he'll be back at the major league level, provided everything goes well. So you're talking about first week of September, end of the first week of September, maybe.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Isn't that during our little dog shit stretch?
I believe
Trot
it
him
is,
back out there against...
We'll be... Well, 6 and 7 were at Oakland. Those would be nice because Oakland happens to be a really nice place for a pitcher to pitch as well.
Yeah. Send him out there.
Yeah.
And
or
also,
even at San Francisco, 12 through 14 would be a good opportunity, or maybe both, because that's a really good place to pitch as well.
Yeah, but better hitters, or at least even when they suck, more professional grinders out in San Francisco. But
yeah, for sure. Well, they're Major League Baseball players, not like Oakland, which is a Double-A team.
That is fair. That is all I've got, man. I want Soroka back in the rotation so bad. I'm just greedy at this point. Like, I don't give a fuck about anything. I just want it all. Like, I want all of it.
Do you guys have any Little League baseball odds? Picks for the Little League World Series?
No, I don't like how the most I've heard out of the Little League World Series so far is that some dude got drilled in the head, and then he hugged the dude who did it. Like, no, you crushed that dude.
You gotta fight him.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? Not enough mounds are charged in the Little League World Series for me.
Just based off the odds, I'm high on Hawaii.
Hawaii?
They seem like another wagon.
Can you bet on this?
Yeah, you can.
Is it on my bookie?
It is.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm definitely gonna bet on it then.
Yeah, you have to.
When does the actual World Series start?
I think it starts pretty soon, like next day or 2.
Oh shit! Well, hold on. Let's look at these odds right quick.
Yeah, I'm going to make a totally uneducated guess.
Well, you can bet on whether it's a U.S. or international team usually, too, that wins.
I feel like it's usually U.S., but can I get, like, some Saudi Arabia odds?
I don't know that they're allowed. Let's see.
It might not be up right now, but I know you will be able to in the future.
Last year it was Taylor, Michigan.
Last year there was also no international teams.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But the U.S. has won the last 2 years where international teams played. Honolulu, Hawaii beat Seoul, South Korea, and River Ridge, Louisiana beat Wilmstead, Curacao. And then in 2017, Japan beat Lufkin, Texas, and then New York beat Seoul. I mean, it looks like Hawaii's got a pretty good program. They show up on here a little bit.
All right. I'll go with Hawaii. I'm surprised anybody took down Curacao that one year. Curaçao's legit. It doesn't look like the odds are up yet, but you can bet on this on MyBookie.
I believe so, yeah.
You've done it before?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so look out for that. I'll go with the Texas team. I'll pick a Texas team, whatever Texas team makes it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Fuck it.
We'll get back to you on that. Just watch the social media.
We will. That's all I got for today.
Yep. See ya.
Boys later.